This is Sabrina. She's sitting beside a barely used strip of highway just outside of Salem, Connecticut. The bit of concrete she's sitting on there was supposed to be a highway connecting Hartford and New London. Instead, it ends here. In the trees back there, there's even a fully built bridge, with nothing on either side. The road has sat like this since 1972, and it gets worse. Sabrina there is typing away on a report about how in the last few years alone, this road has cost Connecticut taxpayers $12.5 million. Route 11 dates back to 1953, when a highway planning commissioner wanted to connect Hartford and New London. Construction began in 1963, and the road opened for business in 1972. The state didn't have enough money to actually finish the highway, so they figured it could just be completed when more money came through. In 1975, plans were submitted to complete the highway, but no funding, either federal or by the state, was ever secured, so that fell through. New plans to finish Route 11 were kicked around, but evidently they weren't very good plans, because the Department of Transportation said the highway extension was infeasible in 1993 due to environmental concerns. For the first time, Route 11 was declared dead. But that didn't last long. In 1997, a new study was conducted, examining dozens of alternatives, and local governments endorsed a specific plan in 2001. Enthusiasm for the project picked up after 9/11, because a completed highway would allow for better evacuation from sites like the Coast Guard Academy or Naval Submarine Base near New London. The federal government was even putting millions toward the planning and engineering. Years went by. There were endorsements, planning, attempts at land acquisition, and study after study. Still, nothing real ever materialized. Until in 2010, the Department of Transportation declared it unfundable. For the second time, it was dead. Just a year later, Governor Daniel Malloy says, unfundable schmunfundable. With this support, the state legislature orders $6 million worth of environmental studies, tolling studies, and preliminary engineering. In 2016, the Federal Highway Administration decides to cease its support. The Fed said Connecticut never provided adequate information. You know, key elements like financial plans, engineering plans. And if you're asking, hey, didn't you just say we paid $6 million for those exact things? Yes, I did say that. Regardless, Route 11 was dead again. At this point, Connecticut had spent $12.7 million since 1997. It ended up being the worst kind of return on investment, which is to say there was no return on investment. While this is one of the worst cases of wasting Connecticut taxpayer dollars on highway projects, it's far from isolated. Our state has a long-standing history of poor spending decisions on transportation projects. On a per-mile basis, our roads cost over $475,000 per mile. The national average is about a third of that, $161,000. And in the spring of 2018, Connecticut lawmakers tried to make the state's roads even more expensive. They pushed hard to move forward on tolls on our highways before widespread backlash scared them off. In recent years, lawmakers have also floated ideas like raising the gas tax again, or implementing a tire tax. Connecticut taxpayers are already being taxed enough, more than enough actually, for our state to have pristine and completed roads and highways. So the next time you hear a politician complain about needing more money for Route 11 or any other transportation project in our state, know they already have plenty of money to do it. They just need to spend it a little more wisely. Taxpayers shouldn't be asked to contribute 1 cent more toward Connecticut roads. Read our full report at yankeeinstitute.org/Route 11.